Ladies and gentlemen, each word we speak carries a weight, a vibration that shapes not only our relationships, but also our inner being. When we choose to speak with honesty, we align ourselves with clarity, peace, and trust. But when we lie, even in small ways, we create a shadow within our own heart. A lie is never just a simple escape. It is a seed planted in the soil of the mind, and in time, it grows into confusion, fear, and disconnection. A lie may seem harmless, but it quietly builds walls between us and others, and most importantly, between us and ourselves. Each false word creates distance from truth, and in that distance we lose harmony. The mind becomes restless, the heart uneasy, and the spirit heavy. Lies may protect us for a moment, but they chain us to guilt and constant worry, for we fear being discovered. Truth, on the other hand, is liberating. When we walk in truth, our words and actions become aligned, our relationships blossom with trust, and our spirit becomes light. Honesty allows us to be fearless, for there is nothing to hide. It is in truth that compassion finds its roots, because sincerity brings openness, and openness leads to understanding. To lie is to deny reality, to twist what is. But reality always remains stronger than illusion, and truth always finds its way back to the surface. Choosing honesty is choosing harmony with life itself. It may not always be easy, and it may not always bring immediate comfort, but it brings lasting peace. Lies may offer short-lived safety, but truth builds an eternal foundation. So let us remember, each time we are tempted to lie, that we are not only deceiving others, but weakening the bond within ourselves. By living truthfully, we nurture trust, grow in wisdom, and free our hearts from the burden of fear. Truth is the path to clarity, and clarity is the path to peace. When a person chooses to speak a lie, even a small one, it does not simply disappear after being spoken. It settles into the mind, like a hidden stone under calm water, unseen but creating ripples of unease. The heart may try to convince itself that the lie was harmless or necessary. Yet the mind remembers. It replays the words, questions the reasons, and begins to build an inner tension that cannot be easily erased. This conflict is not always loud or visible, but it quietly eats away at peace of mind. The nature of truth is light. It clears confusion and brings calmness. A lie, however, is heavy. It may be spoken to avoid judgment, protect pride, or gain advantage, but instead of freedom, it creates a chain of hidden fears. The fear of being discovered, the guilt of betraying sincerity, and the restlessness of carrying a false image all combine to disturb the spirit. This inner struggle shows itself in subtle ways: uneasiness in silence, hesitation in speech, or discomfort in the presence of others. The more lies are spoken, the heavier the burden becomes. To maintain them, one must create more illusions, each covering the last, until the truth is buried under layers of deception. Yet deep within, the heart knows what is real. This knowledge conflicts with the false words, creating a constant battle between what is and what has been spoken. Such a battle tires the mind and clouds clarity. Peace cannot live in a mind divided between truth and falsehood. Lies may provide momentary escape, but they leave behind unrest. Only when honesty is chosen can the mind rest in harmony. free from the weight of self-created conflict. When dishonesty enters a relationship, it begins to slowly erode the foundation on which trust is built. A single lie may seem small, but it carries the power to create doubt. Once doubt takes root, even genuine words start to lose their strength. The listener may no longer feel secure, wondering if what they hear is truth or another illusion. This uncertainty weakens the bond between people, leaving cracks where there once was confidence and openness. A lie builds invisible walls. Instead of connection, there comes distance. The heart that longs to share fully begins to hold back, afraid of being deceived again. Trust is fragile, and once broken, it does not return easily. Even if forgiveness is given, the memory of the lie lingers like a shadow. True closeness requires transparency, but dishonesty creates barriers that stop love, friendship, and understanding from flowing freely. When one chooses to lie, they not only deceive another, but also rob themselves of the chance to be truly known, to be seen for who we are, with all our strengths and flaws, is what makes relationships real. Lies replace authenticity with pretense, and what grows in such soil cannot flourish. Instead of genuine connection, there is performance and fear of exposure. The damage caused by lies is not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it is subtle, like a slow fading of warmth. Conversations lose depth. Trust is replaced with suspicion, and the bond that once gave comfort now feels uncertain. It is through honesty that relationships breathe, grow, and thrive. Dishonesty suffocates them, leaving behind only emptiness. To nurture trust, one must value truth above all, for without it, no connection can truly last. Truth has a power that cannot be measured by convenience or comfort. When a person chooses honesty, they open the door to freedom. Lies tie the heart down with the constant weight of remembering, hiding, and pretending. Each false word becomes a chain, linking one deception to another, until the burden grows heavy. But when truth is spoken, the burden lifts instantly. There is nothing to conceal, nothing to fear, and nothing to protect through further deception. This release brings a lightness to the spirit that lies can never provide. Fear is born from hiding. When someone lies, they live with the fear of being discovered. This fear follows them into conversations, into silence, and into the eyes of others. It makes them cautious, restless, and uneasy. But honesty removes that fear entirely, for truth needs no defense. It stands on its own, strong and unshaken. To walk in truth is to walk without chains, without the anxiety of being exposed. It is to stand openly, knowing there is nothing to disguise. Freedom is not only about external circumstances, it is deeply connected to the state of the heart. Even if the world places restrictions, a truthful heart remains free, because it carries no hidden burdens. Honesty aligns thoughts, words, and actions, creating harmony within. This inner alignment allows one to live without contradiction, and in that unity lies true liberation. To live truthfully may at times be difficult, as truth can bring challenges or discomfort. But it is always a path to peace. The short-lived comfort of a lie cannot compare to the lasting freedom of truth. Only by choosing honesty can the spirit breathe fully, unchained, and unafraid. Compassion grows in the soil of sincerity, for when words are honest, the heart opens naturally. Truth creates a space where understanding can blossom, because it removes the masks that separate one being from another. When a person speaks with honesty, they invite others to see them as they truly are, and in this openness, connection deepens. Compassion is not born from perfection, but from authenticity, from allowing ourselves and others to be real. Lies, however, close this door, because dishonesty creates distance and mistrust that block the flow of kindness. When sincerity guides speech, the listener feels respected and valued. Honesty shows that one has the courage to be transparent, even when it may not be easy. This courage nurtures empathy, as people respond more deeply to truth than to polished illusions. Compassion arises when hearts recognize each other without barriers, and truth is the bridge that makes such recognition possible. Without this bridge, every act of kindness feels uncertain, for there is doubt about whether it rests on reality or deception. Openness is the foundation of meaningful relationships. When one hides behind lies, they hide not only from others, but also from the possibility of being fully loved or understood. Compassion cannot flow freely to someone wearing a mask, because it is never clear who stands behind it. But when the mask is removed through honest words and actions, others can extend genuine care. Seeing the true person with all their struggles and beauty, sincerity softens hearts and builds harmony, while lies harden them and create separation. To live truthfully is to create an environment where compassion thrives, where people can meet each other with trust, kindness, and a shared sense of humanity. A lie is an attempt to twist reality, to paint over what already exists with an image that feels easier or more convenient. Yet reality remains untouched beneath the illusion, unchanging and undeniable. No matter how carefully a falsehood is spoken, it cannot erase what is real. It may cover it for a time, but truth has a way of returning, like the sun emerging through clouds. This is the nature of life. Illusions fade, but reality endures. When someone chooses to lie, they step away from what is, and in doing so, they create conflict within themselves. The mind begins to live in two worlds, the world of reality and the world of deception. Maintaining this divide requires constant energy, for the illusion must be protected, explained, and reinforced. Over time, this effort drains peace and clouds clarity. While reality remains steady, the illusion becomes fragile, for it depends on endless support to survive. Truth, however, does not need protection. It stands firm, whether embraced or denied. Lies, being weak in their nature, crumble when questioned. They may survive for a moment, but eventually, the strength of reality pushes them aside. This is why dishonesty never lasts, while honesty, even if difficult, endures. To deny reality is to resist life itself. To lie is to place oneself in opposition to the natural order. And such resistance always leads to suffering. Peace comes not from fighting what is true, but from accepting it with courage. Though truth may bring challenges, it also brings stability. Illusions may appear comforting, but they dissolve quickly, leaving emptiness behind. Choosing truth is choosing alignment with the unshakable, with the eternal strength of reality itself. Peace is not something that can be forced from the outside. It is cultivated within, and truth is the foundation on which it rests. When words and actions are honest, the heart no longer carries the burden of pretense. There is no fear of being exposed, no anxiety about maintaining a false image. The mind becomes steady, and the spirit feels light. In this harmony of thought, word, and action, peace naturally arises. A truthful life is a peaceful life, because nothing is hidden and nothing needs to be defended. When dishonesty enters, the heart becomes divided. One part clings to reality, while the other maintains illusion. This division creates noise in the mind, making it restless and uneasy. Such a state cannot bring peace, because the inner self longs for alignment. Truth unites all parts of being into one, removing contradiction and restoring balance. In that balance lies the calmness that every heart seeks. Peace gained through truth is lasting. Lies may give a momentary escape, but it is fragile, always under threat of breaking. True peace is steady, because it rests on what is real. It allows the mind to rest deeply, without fear, and the heart to open fully, without doubt. This peace spreads beyond the self, influencing relationships and environments, because others feel the strength and calm of honesty. The path of truth may sometimes feel difficult, but its reward is harmony that cannot be shaken. By choosing honesty, one aligns with the natural flow of life, where clarity replaces confusion and calm replaces turmoil. In such alignment, peace becomes not just a passing moment, but a way of living rooted firmly in truth. Thanks for watching.